It's the Joe Show. Hello and welcome to the Joe Show with me, Joe. Joe Show! As you know, this is the show where I live read an article with you, I comment on it, we all learn something, and today the headline is the real reason Facebook bought Giphy for $400 million USD. Facebook may want to turn Giphy into the next phase of its advertising business, but that probably isn't the main ambition for the internet's favorite GIF search engine. So let's jump into why they think Facebook bought Giphy. So when Facebook confirmed that it had acquired Giphy last week for a cool $400 million, the reasons weren't immediately apparent. Giphy has only the seeds of an advertising business, and GIFs aren't a revolutionary advertising product. If you're not aware of what Giphy is, Giphy runs a large searchable database of GIF images. It's those moving pictures on websites. So whenever you see a picture on a website that is animated, that's a GIF. It's a file format, .gif. It's an animated picture. So when you're looking at an article online and there's a picture moving that's kind of like a Harry Potter newspaper, that's a GIF. So Giphy runs a large searchable database of GIF images that can be called upon by social media and messaging platforms via an application programming interface, commonly referred to as an API. API is just a set of instructions that lives on a server somewhere, and if you're using the Facebook app, sometimes what will happen is it'll send a request to that server where those instructions are saying, hey, the user's requesting a GIF of somebody overreacting to something, and Giphy will send back a picture as a response to that request, and then Facebook will show you a GIF of somebody overreacting. That's how an API works. It's just a set of instructions somewhere that you can call to and say, hey, I need something. It responds and says, here's what you requested. Giphy, the venture-backed startup, has built a sizable user database of 65 million monthly active users since its launch in 2013. Giphy was also just beginning to allow advertisers to sponsor GIFs and add video overlays to user-generated GIFs. This part is interesting to me. So as an Instagram user, one of the things that I like about stories is that you can go on there and start searching for GIFs, and then they will show you transparent GIFs sometimes that you can put over your story. So if you make a story about you being really hot, for example, you can find an animated sun to put behind you to really drive home the point that you're hot. More interesting though, if you really dig into Giphy, you can find kind of branded GIFs. So like I think Gary Vaynerchuk, who's a really famous entrepreneur guy, he has some of his own branded GIFs that you can find on Instagram and then put it on there. But he's not paying Instagram for those, and Instagram's not paying him for those. However, if they wanted to start monetizing that in some way, this is a very interesting move to start potentially having sponsored GIFs or having sponsored content on there for people to use and interact with. They might not know is sponsored, but could actually be paid for by the company. More interestingly though, one of the biggest values in the deal for Facebook might actually be the data. As we know, Facebook loves collecting data on all of us. If you remember the Cambridge Analytica scandal, it was a huge problem with Facebook sharing data. So Facebook is in the business of collecting data about the individual and linking it to the individual, so then they can serve you ads for things they already know that you're interested in so that you'll buy it. So already 50% of Giphy's traffic comes from Facebook apps, going back to Giphy and the Facebook connection here. That means 50% is coming from other places like, say, TikTok or Telegram or Slack, for example, which is a big business application. Microsoft Office is another one that's using Giphy. So there's a lot of different applications that Facebook is now able to put its fingers into just from having the data and the API that Giphy owns, which to me is a little concerning. So Facebook already has its fingers. It's just fingering everything. Facebook is fingering everything. And that's already a huge problem because they're linking all that back to you personally. When you download your Facebook data, you don't even get all of the connections and all of the data that Facebook has on you. I personally deleted my Facebook about a half a year or a year ago. Really hasn't affected my life. I still exist. I still communicate with my family. I'm fine. And I would encourage everyone to download their data and then delete their Facebook and move on from it. But that's just me. So now Facebook has the ability to get information from other apps, Twitter, Slack, Microsoft Office, TikTok, Telegram, Snapchat, etc., where previously they didn't want to integrate with Facebook or allow Facebook in. Now, all of a sudden, Facebook has a background kind of workaround to get data from those sources to link then back to you. So the Giphy data might also reveal the growing popularity of new app services. This is also something that Facebook is really interested in because they love to copy other or other applications. Facebook loves to copy other competitors, copied a lot from Snapchat. There's a well-known journalist, Kara Swisher. She runs a great podcast, Recode, Decode, and Pivot. She always talks about how Snapchat was kind of the external R&D or product development service for Facebook. So now Facebook can see if all of a sudden a new app is making a bunch of calls to Giphy, they can have insider information of new and upcoming apps that they should check out and then decide if they want to integrate their features or purchase it. So this is a really interesting purchase for Facebook. I think that it makes a lot of sense. When I saw the headline, I was like, yeah, totally makes sense. I get it. I could understand why they wanted access to the Giphy data, even just in my opinion, just for the advertising potential of offering advertisers another service. GIFs are a way for people to share memes, to share expressions and culture. And so I think that, it's actually quite a steal for Facebook, getting it for only $400 million. I have a feeling it's going to turn out to be a very, very profitable purchase. So that has been the Joe Show with me, Joe. If you like my content, hit subscribe below. I do this daily. You can also follow me on Instagram, a Joe Show, or send articles you want me to cover or news stories to hijoeshow@gmail.com. Otherwise, till tomorrow, read something interesting. This has been the Joe Show.